Yo, it's poppin', gamers, Real Alpha Gamer here, also known as WQQQQWRT. Now guys, I changed my name on Twitch last night and it changed the world. Why did I change my name on Twitch, WQ? Why would you do that? It's because I'm making you a Real Alpha Gamer, okay? So how can I be named Real Alpha Gamer? It doesn't make any sense. Mind-blowing gamers are gamers. We really are gonna change the world right now, okay, right this second. If you're trying to become an alpha gamer, if you're trying to change the world, you're trying to take your gameplay from an F to an A+++, make sure you hit the subscribe button, also comment and like. Gamers, I discovered something actually several years ago, but I was thinking about it last night and it blew my mind. I was like, okay, I need to tell you guys this stuff. This is seriously beyond limits, beyond Omega level limits of important and useful and functional. And just so valuable, and it's like it's the most core part about being alpha, dude. Look, beta males will always tell you this is how you be alpha, this is how you be alpha. They're all beta males, okay? None of these losers know what they're talking about except for me. And let me tell you the truth. You need to game a lot, and you need to game harder than anyone else. And you're gonna seriously learn the truth of discipline and limitations and ego, understanding ego, mastering ego, and then you become a real alpha male. And I'm not talking about women and beta males will look up to you. Okay, that will happen. History will look up to you. History will revere you as unkillable, unbreakable. That's how you become a real alpha male. Okay, none of this baloney, fake, pseudo alpha male stuff. Okay, get rid of that stuff. You're becoming a real alpha gamer. All right, gamers, what's the most important thing for humans gaming? What is the #1 skill that everybody wants? It's the #1 most attractive skill. It gets women highly addicted to you. It's clutchness. It's the clutch factor, gamers. The WQ factor, also known as, it's the clutch factor. The clutch factor is the #1 most attractive trait of gaming. That's what everyone is interested in. That's what everyone wants. It's like, how can I be more clutch? I want to be more clutch. I need to be more clutch. I need to win more. Now, I actually don't necessarily think this is the best feature, the best traits, and I think it's good. I'm pretty clutch. I'm probably the best at being clutch. But I don't even think it's the most important thing. I think winning is the most important thing. You know, I think getting back in there, trying again, making a good effort, thinking creatively. I think these things in a lot of ways are better than clutchness. But clutchness is pretty important and people like it. It's very attractive. The thing with being clutch gamers is that natural gameplay is the clutch factor. That's why I'm so clutch, and that's why I don't really care about being clutch, because it's like I already solved that. I already figured that one out. Natural gameplay is the clutch factor. Now, why would natural gameplay be the clutch factor? WQ, slow down, man. Slow down, you just blow my mind, dude. How is natural gameplay a clutch factor though? Let's go over this, let's explain this to you guys. All right, gamers, think of natural gameplay like an atom. It's an atom, okay? When you have an atom, it's the most fundamental building block. When you create gameplay through natural gameplay, you create gameplay fundamentally on the most basic thing. Now, what does this mean, real WQ? Think about this. So, let's say you build gameplay based on a different philosophy and you build gameplay based on the philosophy. The mentality is the entirety of gameplay. Nothing matters except mentality, right? If you say you're winning, you're gonna win. And this creates everything. Let's say this is your philosophy for gameplay, right? And your argument for this is that with a good mentality, you're more prone to learn better strats, right? So I don't know how that makes any sense, but sure, let's just go with it. This is not an atom. This is not the simplest, most fundamental building block of gameplay, right? And you might be thinking, well, why not? I mean, it could be, we don't know, but it's not. It's not even close. It's not even close. It's like the country of Africa. That's not the building block, that's a large landmass. That's a pretty big landmass. Let's think about why. Let's say you're gaming and the power is a lightning storm and your power goes out. And your run dies. You're doing speedrunning, you're in World Record pace, your run dies. Well, mentality doesn't matter, right? Your mentality, you would have to argue that I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to argue here. You'd have to start making stuff up, right? Right. These two things, like mentality, doesn't help you out here when your power goes out and your run dies. Like you can't do anything about that, right? So let's say, in fact, these aren't even related. Let's say there's people who think how many total hours you play. That's the basic determining factor of gameplay skill. Well, how many hours you play? Some people think how aggressive you play. Some people think how much you focus. Some people think, you know, all different types of philosophies they'll create, not based on anything, and they'll say, well, this is the determining factor for gameplay, or it's a major determining factor. And then on top of that, they'll go in reality, hold up. In reality, it's not one or two things, it's a combination of many things, right? It's a bunch of different things at the same time that are creating people's gameplay. And they're philosophies, right? They have like 7 or 8 different philosophies for random different things all the time. Like, and it'll change too over time. So unless you start making excuses about how your mentality is the ultimate determining factor for gameplay, and you're still stuck in 13th place, unless you start making excuses, when your power goes out, your mentality's not really doing much for you, and having a better mentality is not really gonna do much for you. I mean, your run died, you can't get back on the run, like there's nothing you can do about that. So what exactly, and this, that's an extreme example, but what if your cat walks in and you get distracted? What if your phone starts going off and you get distracted? What if you're tired that day and you can't play at 100%? Now, you have these speedrunners who beta gamers make tons of excuses, and they always make these horrible excuses, and they always say stuff like, well, it's just having a bad day, you'll get in there tomorrow. Next day will be a good day. Well, that only goes so far, because what if you're talking to professional gamers and they're in a tournament that happens once a year, and they enter the tournament once every 10 years? And they're just having a bad day, and I guess tomorrow will be a better day. There is no tomorrow. They're done that day, right? They're completely done. So they need the best possible gameplay no matter the circumstance. So you can't just make these excuses and assume, oh, well, I just gotta practice my mentality. I gotta keep practicing my mentality. I'm still in top 64 on the MIL 100. I have moved nowhere in years. I was never particularly good at the game. I'm just gonna keep practicing my mentality. I'm sure eventually it'll work out, right? I'm sure when I'm 50 years old and everyone else has stopped playing the game, I'm sure all my good mentality is finally paid off. No, this is ludicrous. This is stupid. Why are you losing? Start winning. Start picking a good fundamental structure for gameplay. Start actually learning how to play the game. You're playing at the same efficiency as someone else. Look, guys, if somebody struggles and they try their best and they go all out and they get 100th place in a tournament, it's the same effort as somebody who gets first place in the tournament. They actually put the same day-to-day effort. Now, you might be saying that's crazy. Okay, the person who gets first place, clearly they're putting in a better effort, a smarter effort, a more disciplined effort, yes, but this person who goes out, they try their best, their stress maxes out in the tournament, and they're actually using 100% of their bodily resources that you're using to get first place. It's like, so why are you getting last place? Like, the only difference between first place and last place is pressing the buttons at the wrong times because they don't know what they're doing. So why don't you just start learning what to do and then start winning? There's one way to do it. It's through natural gameplay. It's through naturalization. And this is because natural gameplay is an atom. It's the most fundamental form. So when your power does go out and you think naturally, you actually come up with solutions for this, not necessarily to win, or well, it's ultimately to win. Not necessarily to fix the power going out. That's not going to happen, right? Not necessarily to win every single time, right? It's to improve your gameplay. It might improve it 0.01% of the time, right? It might make you slightly more comfortable. It might fix one situation, but it's to improve the gameplay. And so for the power going out, what's the natural solution for this? What matters here? You are speedrunning. If you speedrun for 5 years straight, inevitably your power's gonna go up. Inevitably your console is gonna crash. Inevitably something stupid's gonna happen, right? It might never, for me it's never happened on a good run. But inevitably something's gonna happen. Maybe your cat walks in the door and distracts you and then you die. It's happened to me before on a very good run. Inevitably it's gonna happen. What happens, how do you fix this, right? It's called reliability, it's called getting better, because what happens as a value? Oh, shoot, in a speedrun, randomly things go wrong because you can compete every day. You can't compete every day in a high-level tournament. And in a high-level tournament, the power crashes. If there's any integrity in the tournament, they'll restart the game, so it's fair, right? But in a speedrun, it doesn't work like that. So in a speedrun, what gains value? Reliability. Being able to reproduce something. Being able to reproduce something actually has value. It actually gains value, so that's interesting. So with mentality, it doesn't exist. With play hours doesn't exist. All these other BS fundamental gameplay philosophies doesn't exist. And you don't even learn anything. A lot of times it's just like, get back in there, or just try again, or that sucks, or I hope it doesn't happen to me. And these aren't helping you do anything. These aren't changing your life forever. Okay, gamers. So why is natural gameplay an atom, the smallest unit of the basic structure of life? Because natural gameplay is completely built on reality. It's completely and purely and only built on reality. It's not built on your theoreticals. It's not built on what you want to happen. It's not built on hopes and dreams. It's purely built on reality. Purely built only on reality. Only things that exactly happen. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't exist. That's like the most fundamental thing for natural gameplay. That's why it's an atom, because you're literally building gameplay only on variables that affect the game, right? Only variables that affect gameplay and affect a game. You are building a profile of gameplay. So of course it's an atom. So when the power goes out, you know, if it goes out, that's actually a factor. Whoa, that's a thing. Whoa, that's crazy. I never realized that was a thing. And I actually need to create gameplay that might develop or bend around that. Now let's, the power going out is an extreme example. That never happens, most likely. It's very rare. So let's just throw that out the window. What about something that's more realistic? Like, your controller isn't always good. A lot of speedruns, you can't always get a good controller. Or another example such as RNG, random events in the game. Or another example such as difficult sections of the run, hand problems, boring sections of the run, stress, managing stress in a run. Yeah, what if you have a 20-minute cutscene, and then right after the 20-minute cutscene is a very important part of the run. Natural gameplay actually factors this in as a thing. Because frequently what will happen is people kind of stop focusing during this 20-minute cutscene or 5-minute cutscene or 3-minute cutscene, kind of stop paying attention. Kind of start talking to their chat. Yeah, that's another factor. Natural gameplay actually factors in talking to your chat. So they start talking to their chat because they're streaming, and then the 3-minute cutscene's up, and they immediately have to do something very important, right? Natural gameplay actually factors this in. It's a stress variable. It's a stress factor. So managing your stress becomes a thing in natural gameplay, right? Why? Why does managing your stress become a thing in natural gameplay? Because natural gameplay is only about things that actually happen. It's only about natural reality. So if you go into a game, and you get distracted, talking to your chat, and the 3-minute cutscene ends, and you forget to do an input, and your run dies, well, apparently that's a thing. Apparently that's a gameplay factor. That's a gameplay interaction, right? That's an actual thing. So you actually start to create strategies around that. And one of these strategies might simply be a reminder, a visual cue, a very easy to remember visual cue in the cutscene that when you see that visual cue, you are able to actually remember to start focusing again. You don't learn that with mentality as a determining factor for gameplay. If your determining factor for gameplay is gameplay hours played, you don't learn that. If your determining factor for gameplay is how aggressive you can play, or how much you can focus, or all these other completely made up arguments, you don't learn it. You don't learn that. I just literally gave you a strategy, a gameplay strategy. Like 99% of speedrunners can use this. Literally, you just got better at your speedrun. Straight up. Because the natural gameplay is so powerful. There's no other mentality or fundamental gameplay philosophy that's going to literally just give you a strategy for gaming. Every speedrunner, that's game changing. That's insane. And then you know why natural gameplay is so powerful? Because you literally can do that everywhere. You can suddenly start actually managing your stress because you realize stress management is a thing. And this is why natural gameplay is an atom, because it's so fundamental. It actually targets everything that happens. It actually addresses and targets everything that happens in the game. Mentality doesn't. Okay, hours played doesn't. Playing aggressive or playing defensive, playing careful, playing consistent. Playing consistent doesn't address that. How does playing consistent address stress management? It doesn't. Playing consistent is about ratios. It's about numbers, right? It's about getting something 70% of the time or 99% of the time. It's about effect. It's about output-based effect, right? It's irrelevant. It's completely irrelevant. So if you're playing consistent, might as well give up. Completely give up. If you're playing natural though, suddenly stress management's a thing. Suddenly reliability is a thing. Suddenly actionability is a thing. Suddenly there's new strategies for your controller. Suddenly you actually there's merit to changing things and to changing your gameplay. Suddenly you just changed your gameplay, guys, and you just changed your life, and this is why it's so powerful. And you need to start naturalizing your gameplay. You need to subscribe right now and become an alpha gamer. This is how you become an alpha gamer. This is why natural gameplay is a clutch factor. Because what you're doing is you're as a product of completely learning the game, you're learning to become clutch. Guys, have you ever watched two terrible players in a game play something like a fighting game, a competitive game? It's crazy. People constantly making flubs, stress goes way up, nerves hit people. In Melee, the game goes to the end. It's nuts. Now we're talking about players that are terrible at the game. Some of the worst players on the planet. I'm not even kidding. I've seen this stuff before. And when I just got into Melee, I've lived it. Now take the best players in the world. The same thing happens. Exact same thing happens. I was like, wait a minute. So it seems like choking something and clutching something out aren't actually directly dependent on how good you are. There's more going on. So personally, I just don't care about clutchness at all. I think it's irrelevant. But a lot of people do think about it. And what I do care about greatly, it's greatly dependent on me, is actionability and reliability. And guess what, gamers? When you are highly actionable, and you have gameplay that's highly reliable, it is ridiculously easy to clutch stuff out. It is ridiculously easy. It's effortless. 99% of the time, it's completely effortless. It is really that easy, and so it's like, of course, natural gameplay is the clutch factor. Because we're fundamentally building gameplay based on what stuff happens in reality, right? One of the most important common things in reality is people choking a run and then complaining about they choke the run. Yeah, so some people think clutchness is the most important thing in gameplay. Clutchness that's the determining factor for success. And this is another one of these like bogus mentalities that you're not developing your gameplay, you're not learning gameplay skills on a daily basis, like hundreds of gameplay skills. Well, I actually learned them because I naturalize my gameplay. It's completely bogus. Now, I mean, it's not bad necessarily, but like, who cares? Basically, it's irrelevant. Oh yeah, some other good choking factors. Nerves, sweaty hands, temperature, room temperature. These are great choking factors, right? Natural gameplay addresses all of these. Why does natural gameplay address these so well? So well, it doesn't just address them, gamers, incredibly effectively. Because you suddenly start to, these things matter. You suddenly start to create strategies that theoretically might not be existing. See, there's another fundamental philosophy that people think is the determining factor for gameplay, and they think it's theoreticals. And they think, okay, theoretically, I can do this, or theoretically it's possible to do this, therefore I need to do it, therefore it's optimal, therefore I have to do it. And if I do it, I become the best player in the world, right? And they're in 30th place, and I'm in first place, I'm in 10 first places. In fact, some categories I have first and second place. And you have these people that are like, well, I'm a theoretical gamer and I'm in 50th place in one category, and I'm like, I'm pretty good, right? And I'm like thinking to myself, like, I mean, look, if you naturalize the gameplay, maybe you'll be right, but right now you have nothing. And so what I do is I compete with them and they get nowhere. I obliterate them. Now, gamers, let's talk about you subscribing right now to my channel, guys. Okay, I need some subs, all right? We're changing the world. Now, gamers, back on topic. Let's talk about a gameplay, a run, a speed run, a melee match. You're playing League of Legends. I don't play any game. It doesn't matter what game you're playing. You could be playing chess. You could be, doing anything. If you're doing behaviors and there's a stress component, behavior, boom, gameplay, boom. Okay, stress management. That's what matters. So in a video game, in a speed run, something that I look for are easy to remember visual cues. Doesn't even matter why it's easy to remember. It doesn't matter how dumb it is. If it's easy to remember, if it works, right? If it's actionable. Boom, it's important, it's relevant, it's gameplay. I'm developing my skill set. You think this visual cue is the best visual cue because somebody told you it's the best visual cue and it never works in runs, and you're like, well, I just need to practice it more. So some people think practice is the most fundamental. That's an add-on, practice. No, it's not. Practice. Define practice? First of all, define practice, you can't. Second of all, even if you could define it, who gives a shit, right? If you practice the same thing for 1 billion years, the same incorrect thing for 1 billion years, and you have one person, a second person, who does the correct thing once in his life, never practices in his life, just does it once correctly, he actually will outperform you. So why is practice the most fundamental philosophy for gameplay? Why is it an atom? It's not. It's not even close. Hey, Oliver. What's up, man? Bro, that guy just fucking... He's trying to get my autograph. Okay, that's game changing. Now, gamers, imagine, again, people who say practice is the most fundamental, it's the most important aspect of gaming, they are literally wrong. They are quite literally wrong. Just throw them out the window. Throw these people, literally throw them out the window. It doesn't matter. They have no value in the gameplay world. Now, gamers, I go into a run, I'm nervous, I'm uncomfortable, I'm unhappy, I'm frustrated, I'm tense, I can't think, my hands are sweating. This is what happens when you go into a high pressure run. And guess what? Low pressure runs are irrelevant. They don't matter. High pressure runs matter. So I'm in a high pressure run and I'm freaking out, I'm nervous, I'm sweating, I can't breathe. Literally, sometimes you can't breathe. You need to be able to perform. You literally have to be able to perform at an incredibly high level. So what do you need? What's the most valuable thing here? And a lot of different things, but to me, obviously, it's actionability. Actionability and reliability gain immense value. They gain absolutely incredible value. So I go into this run and I'm nervous and I'm freaking out and I'm thinking to myself like, okay, how can I improve my actionability? It's not in that run. There's no way to improve in the run. You have to improve it before the run, and it's easy to improve it before the run. You need to find visual cues and audio cues and learn the limits of the games, the functions of the games. Some games you can press the button frame by frame. Some games you can press the button and there's a delay. Some frames that you press the button and there's a 2-frame delay, and then you get 10 frames of a window, and then it starts holding the button. Like if you're moving around in the menu, some frame, every game's different. So you go into the run, you're nervous. What actually matters at this point? Being able to perform, being actionable. And on top of that, in a speed run particularly, and actually this works in Melee too, because you still have a value system, actually works in every single game, guys. I don't know why people think speedrunning or natural gameplay only applies to speedrunning. Like literally, I'm talking about behaviors. I'm talking about behaviors. I'm not talking about playing a Super Nintendo game, okay? I'm talking about controlling your behaviors. You do anything that's a behavior, okay? I'm talking about behaviors, right? I'm not talking about speedrunning. Some people think it only applies to speedrunning, and I play a more elite game like Street Fighter. Therefore, it doesn't matter to Street Fighter, way more elite and complex than speedrunning. I look down on people that play Street Fighter. I think Street Fighter is way too simple. It's way too low level. It's way too incomplete as a game. This is boring to play. Why do you think Street Fighter's an elevated art form? This is a joke. So I don't know, people that think their game is elevated as an elevated art form, these people are jokes. They have no idea what they're talking about. Another mind-blowing thing about natural gameplay, it's not just about not choking a run, learning how to not choke a run. A lot of it is learning actionability. It's learning how to clutch out a run, or learning how to save considerable time. And this is why you can go into Street Fighter with this mentality, how to clutch out a combo on opponents. And so let's say in speedrunning there's a strat that happens 15% of the time at the end of an hour-and-a-half run, and it saves 10 seconds, which is a lot of time in this game. Well, it's rare enough that it's not really talked about. Most people don't know it exists. It does happen. People do save time. Well, the problem is most people don't even really care about this. They're not looking for this. This isn't in their strategy field, right? And it's 1 out of like 12 different RNGs, and 9 of the 12 RNGs are the same. 2 of them kill your run, and then you have this RNG that's very important. So it's important to be able to capitalize on it, right, when it happens. Point is, with natural gameplay, since actionability matters, you're actually going to be trying to capitalize and clutch on these rare RNGs, right? It's actually something you're going to be looking for, and so you're going to have to remember and learn and remember specific visual cues. And this is why I'm saying it's not about how stupid the visual cue is or the audio cue. Some people will say, I don't need a visual cue, I just won't use it. It's not about that. It's about being able to reliably and actionably do something. So you go into a run, it's an hour-and-a-half, you do 10 runs in a row. That's 15 hours of runs you'll get at once, and it's very important. It's very, very important in order to clutch runs. So when you have a guy who's developed gameplay based on the natural perspective, he's literally going to look at this option and be like, okay, I can't do this every run, but I can do it occasionally. He'll develop a reliable, actionable way to do it. You know, it only takes a minute to do that or 5 minutes to do that. Practice it a little bit. It'll never come out of runs for months on end. Eventually he gets a good run to the end. Eventually that good run has the good RNG, and he's able to actually capitalize on it. Why? Because he didn't build his gameplay mentality. He didn't build his gameplay on just grinding the game forever. He didn't build his gameplay on theoreticals. He built his gameplay on reality and natural reality, and actually being able to actualize something, being able to action something, right? And why is actionability and reliability natural? Why is that the reality, right? Because guess what, gamers? Guess what? This is the most important thing I could say in my whole life. If you can reliably do something, you can guarantee that it happens. You actually can change the world. You can actually change reality. If you can reliably do something, if you can actionably do something. And so what you could do is become a champion through creating gameplay that's reliable. Creating gameplay that's actionable. It doesn't have to be consistent. Your gameplay could work 1 out of 100 times. It doesn't matter. If it's actionable, if you can actualize it when you need to, you can actually become a champion. You can become clutch, and that's why natural gameplay is the clutch factor. I figured this out years ago. I don't even care anymore. Clutch factor to me is not that relevant. Winning is relevant to me, okay? I want to win anyway, because I want you to win too, and I need you to subscribe. And I need you to like this video and comment your favorite thing about this video. Okay, because we need to change the world. We need to change the world, and we need to teach people to naturalize their gameplay and stop losing. Stop getting last place and being happy with it. Start getting first place and not even really caring. Okay? That's what I need people to do. Anyway, I'll see you guys later.